Hi everyone, my name is Karim Jamal. I'm leading the Industrial Communication Solutions Department at Texas Instruments. I'm happy to be here and welcome Matthias Gärtner from Siemens.
Thank you, Karim. I'm Matthias Gärtner, Head of System Line for Industrial Communication in the Factory Automation Business Unit of Siemens Digital Industries. And Karim, thank you for the invitation.
You are more than welcome. Matthias, we want to talk a little bit about Profinet, about the market trends, right, around Profinet and IO-Link. As both of us, we are members of PI, Profibus Profinet International Organization. Back 20 years ago, we had the first implementation of Profibus, if I remember well, right?
Right.
And since then, we did work together on Profinet from first day, right? How do you see our collaboration as Siemens and TI?
Well, I mean, since you participated in Profinet technology since day one, we have actually a quite intensive collaboration. So if I remember correctly, our first system on chip ASIC in our thematic PLC came basically from TI, running Profinet technology on it, right?
Yes.
And in the meantime, we also collaborate quite intensively with the Ethernet PHYs. So we have a strong qualification scheme in Siemens Digital Industries for your Ethernet PHYs. And right now we are qualifying gigabit PHYs, and we also recommend them in the PI organization. And beside this collaboration, we are also basically have a mutual customer relationship.
Yes.
So we use a lot of components with Siemens automation equipment from Texas Instruments. And I think we also have some automation equipment in your fabs, right?
Yes, of course, absolutely. So our based also on Siemens solutions. Matthias, I mean, we see basically worldwide when we are interfacing with customers, even in Asia, US, everywhere worldwide, we see kind of increase of demand for Profinet, right? So how do you see that? Is that caused by something or is it just natural trend?
Well, first of all, if you observe the markets, there's a very strong trend towards industrial Ethernet in total.
Yes.
Coming from the classical feed buses to the Ethernet-based field buses. First. Second, in these times of OT-IT convergence, the network degree is dramatically increasing.
Mm-hmm.
So you need powerful networks to transport this data between the automation devices. And this is where Profinet technology comes into the game, because we have an architecture by design where we can run real-time protocols and IoT protocols over the same network. And this behavior is crucial for transferring the valuable data out of the shop floor to upper layer networks, for data analytics, for predictive maintenance, for condition monitoring and all that stuff. And I think Profinet is best positioned to meet these challenges.
Which is kind of challenge as well for all manufacturers, right?
Right.
Yeah, so we see that as well. The other part of it is IO-Link. So IO-Link is really growing like crazy, right? I mean, if you see last 2 years, as a huge growth, is dominating somehow the production floor for sensors, for example. And both of us, we believe in making it somehow ease of use, out of the box experience for customers, for our common customers. So kind of IO-Link gateway to Profinet. How do you see that?
Well, first I can confirm this big trend towards IO-Link. If I remember correctly, if you look at external market studies, IO-Link is the most growing communication technology overall for all industrial protocols. And we do have a very good integration of IO-Link technology into the Profinet system. And why did we this? Because one of the strengths of IO-Link is that you have this valuable sensor data, which you can make use of it for, again, data analytics, for example. And so if you follow the path from the sensor to, for example, SCADA system or cloud systems, we have the whole path. Yes. Coming from IO-Link, integration into Profinet technology, and then you have two choices. Either you transfer it to the PLC, and then the PLC enriches further the data, or, and this is also a benefit of Profinet, you can bypass the PLC in a direct data access to the device. So together with IO-Link, we have a perfect team play of Profinet and IO-Link, and we offer the whole journey from the sensor to upper layer systems.
Yes, I absolutely agree about that. That makes absolutely sense. Matthias, I mean, in PI, we're doing a great job. I mean, all members, we are working together on community stack, right? We are working together on basically defining kind of standards that make it easier for porting, for example, IO-Link to Profinet, which is kind of standards right now. TI is coming with TI SDK, near Siemens SDK, right? How do you see our position here? I mean, it's kind of enablement for both of us, or how do you see it?
Absolutely. I mean, these are the rules when you talk about an ecosystem.
Exactly.
Profinet is one of the biggest ecosystems in the world. We have roughly 27% market share, which is the leading industrial protocol worldwide. And an ecosystem lives out of a lot of players. There are the system vendors. For example, Siemens is a system vendor because we offer PLCs, IOs, drives, engineering, but we also offer SDKs, right? There are the device vendors, there are the customers, and finally, there are the technology providers. And you, as Texas Instruments, act as a technology provider, fueling the ecosystem with your development kits consisting of software and hardware. And yes, Siemens is also doing this, but I think at the end of the day, it's important that the customers have the choice to choose. And so both Siemens and Texas Instruments are fueling the ecosystem with their offerings, giving the user and the end customer at the end of the day more choice in selecting the appropriate solution.
Yeah.
So yes, on one side we are competitors, but we are also great partners, and together we can fuel this ecosystem. So this is the whole idea.
Yeah, makes absolutely sense. So from TI perspective, as you see here, we have kind of hardware evaluation boards, right? This is IO-Link, as you see here, like 8 ports, right? That we can just plug into any processor or microcontroller from TI. And this is kind of out of the box experience for customers. Of course, we are using the same concept in terms of, subsystem, which is the known Sitara, PRU, ISSS. And basically the customer basically can use this solution for any product he's going to design. So he has kind of flexibility. Do you see this kind of advantage for the market? What TI is doing right now is this kind of classic approach?
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's no secret that Texas Instruments with the Sitara family is very well positioned in the embedded automation market. So if I talk to my R&D department, everybody knows TI. And why is this the case? Because you have a long history in supporting this market with your offerings, but you also have a scalable chip family. I think this is one of the key issues when I look at your offerings. It's not only one silicon you offer, you have a scalable family. And again here, a device vendor who wants to make a Profinet device at the end, or IO-Link device, needs a choice for selecting the appropriate silicon. There are questions about power consumption. There's a question about pinning. There's, of course, real-time behavior. What kind of peripherals are in the silicon? What is the interfaces to host processors?
The operating system and everything around this, right?
Exactly. And so if you look at a drive or remote I/O vendor, they want to choose also on the silicon side and on the development kit side, what is the best solution for my design? And having a partner here in the ecosystem who offers a scalable offering is fantastic.
Thank you, Matthias, for the confirmation and recognition of TI, of course.
You're welcome.
The same here, I guess. We did move basically from other supplier of Profinet stack to Siemens stack. Because with TI, we believe that our customer needs all features, all profiles. And honestly, Siemens stack is the only stack that has everything, all options available. So we did a lot to implement, and we did, as you know, we did pass certification, which is great for us. I mean, we have certification in hands with our products.
Congratulations, Karim.
Thank you.
You made it.
Yes, we made it. We talked about that like 2 years ago, right? And honestly, we were thinking about do it, quick and dirty. I mean, you can basically just simplify, which is mandatory for certification, and you are done, and you are in early stage on the market. But we took a little bit of time because we believe not just enablement, we are moving somehow to release customer for all these challenges. We want to provide whole solution to our customers. So, I mean, if they are looking for S2 redundancy or fast startup or shared device, whatever, you cannot say, okay, I have this, but I don't have this, right? So that's why we took a little bit time to make it happen. And we are really happy that we made this. And thank you also for your support. I mean, it was good collaboration.
You're welcome. And good to see that you passed certification. Maybe some words to the whole certification. I think the PI organization really did a great job in enhancing this certification mechanism or certification scheme. It was not always the case. To be honest, 10 years before, we did not have such a good certification scheme. In the meantime, it's highly automated. And we have not only the certificate for the final device vendor, but we also have this technology certificate. So certificates, making a certificate for your development kits as a pre-certification, so that your customer, which is the device vendor, can somehow rely on this certificate and do not need to do all the checks.
Start from scratch.
To be honest, of course, he also needs to pass a certification as a device vendor.
Of course.
But having a pre-certificate for the development kit, I think helps him a lot. And
I fully
so
agree.
good to see that you have it. And yes, I mean, the features, basically, they are all standardized in the PI organization. So it's nothing special. So it's everything standardized, but also appreciate that you used our Siemens stack, which is basically also part of the community stack. So we are happy to help you with that, and I'm looking forward to having both of us success in the ecosystem.
Yeah, we're gonna be. Well, I mean, when we did the certifications, that's kind of feedback, you remember our first discussion like 2 years ago when we talked about, we were basically working together on PROFINET of RTSN at that time. And we had this discussion, and I remember you mentioned to me, you say, it's going to be a long journey, right? Because Siemens Tech has been implemented for AirTech, for Siemens ASIC, right? And the community stack, of course, is there, right? There's another opportunity that we have, all of us, which is great. Honestly, I appreciate what Siemens is doing, because we TI believe in open standards.
Yes.
This is what the customer is looking for. They don't want to be married with somebody. They want to have open standards. And our mission is basically to enable the market. Profinet is great, basically protocol, and we should make it somehow open for everybody.
And we are fully committed to this openness.
I see that. I see that.
And that's also why we invented the idea of the community stack to contribute. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, the challenges of our customers become more and more complex. And there's no single company who can solve all the needs of our customers. So we have to have open standards. We have to have collaboration models. And we have to have partnership, like our two companies.
Yes, makes sense.
Finally to help the industry and the customers having good solutions to solve their applications.
Yes, I guess even our customer would like to hear that from both of us, how Siemens and TI are basically doing more in this direction. So TI is honestly 100% committed for industry and automotive, and for industry, number one is industrial communication parts. We are investing heavily for that. The other thing is we are even bringing industrial communication basically to internal fab production, meaning we are using microcontroller that's 100% produced in TI fabs. So 100% in TI hands, no dependencies, which is great. The other thing, when I was basically just in Asia, in Japan, everywhere, when I meet with customers, there are lots of discussions around security. And in it, many times you just come back and say, when are you going to provide this or this? Matthias, from Siemens perspective, from PI perspective, what can you tell us about that? I mean, class 1, class 2, class 3, something like this, right?
I mean, security is an important topic. This is definitely a market trend since a couple of years, and we are convinced that it will continue to be a trend. And in PI organization, we recognized this years ago already and started intensive standardization activities. And in the meantime, as you mentioned, we do have these 3 Profinet security classes, security class 1, Profinet security class 2 and 3. There are some things where we might need to adjust. So We are currently working on a next version of specification, but the basic work is done, right? So the standards are there, so the community can now rely on these standards and start making their products. We are also doing, in the meantime, security plugfests, by the way. TI is, of course, invited also, so feel free to join.
We are there.
Just had one a couple of weeks ago. And
we were there.
You have been there, very good. And we want to continue with this plugfest to that we can enable the whole community towards the step of PROFINET security class 1, 2, and 3, according to the IEC 62443 standard. So this is definitely one of the trend topics. Another one is, if you look at link speeds, you know, they're basically in both directions. If you look at the IoT data, you might need more bandwidth.
Exactly.
So this is where gigabit and even more comes into play. But also on the other side, if you look at single pair Ethernet or
chain-based
advanced physical layer, which runs with 10 megabit, so it's also downwards. And now it becomes tricky, because if you then look to the network infrastructures, you suddenly have link speed transitions. And this we have to cover, and this we will cover also in future specification work.
Yes.
So it's the link speed topic, it's the security topic, but also virtualization drives us around. If you look on the controller side, not so much on the device side, but on the controller side, we are currently working on a decoupling between hardware and software.
Oh, okay.
So we are working on really making motion control and isochronous application via commercial off-the-shelf hardware, for example, Intel or ARM processors.
Or TI processors.
So this is this decoupling hardware and software to support the idea of virtual PLC, for example. VLAN is another topic to provide network segmentations. So a lot of things which are in the pipeline of PROFINET technology, and I think we are very well positioned to meet these future challenges in the market. And yes, security is at the moment one of the biggest topics.
Yeah, it is also in our focus, to be honest. I mean, whatever we are doing right now, it's with focus on security and safety. And we know that there is demand, there is basically kind of regulations in place somehow. And we are working on it as well. And the good thing is, if you see just TI solution, we are basing basically on programmable real-time units, which are programmable per software. Means that gives us kind of flexibility. Whatever, you know, the standard defines, we have to adapt. Of course, sometimes will force us to improve our IP as well. Maybe add in more cores or something like this, it's fine. But I guess we are more ready compared to others. They make it like fixed design, right? So this is something that make us not relaxed 100%, but prepared for the future.
Which is excellent.
Yes,
always good to be prepared for the future.
Exactly. One additional question. I mean, there are lots of discussions around robotics, but yes, and we have the challenge, you know, with different protocols when it comes to, you know, production floor. But robotic is kind of everything in one, and equipment, right? So how do you see it? Is like the same basically view like we see the production floor, or it's more PROFINET gigabits or PROFINET 100 megabits? What do you think?
Well, I mean, there's no automation without robots. This is very clear. The robots are typically connected to the PLCs as an I/O device or as an intelligent I/O device. This definitely will continue. And when you say robots, I mean, we recently also invented this or introduced in the PI organization the semantic, the standard robot command interface to enable a standardized interface between the robots and the PLC on top on PROFINET.
Yes, which makes sense.
Exchanging commands. So also there, PROFINET is definitely well positioned here, and controlling robots from PLCs and automation is key. I mean, this is one of the DNA of automation, and of course this will continue.
Great. But yes, any feedback to TI engagements in PROFINET? How in general before we close this short discussion we had today?
Well, first of all, thanks again for the invitation, Karim, for this nice interview. Really appreciate that we have a strong company like Texas Instruments providing solutions for the ecosystem. This underlines the openness we have by open standards in the PI organization. And it's good to have you on board. Yeah, we have customer relationship, we have competition relationship, and we have also partner relationship. This is nothing special. This is normal in these days when dealing with ecosystems. So really appreciate to be here and have you as collaboration partner. And let's shape the future together.